If you've ever wanted to try making fresh pasta, here's a really easy recipe that doesn't require a pasta machine or any special equipment. Start with 300 grams of flour in a pile and put a dent in the middle and then pour in 3 eggs. I added a drizzle of olive oil as well, but that's really optional. Start mixing the eggs together and slowly incorporate some of the flour. Keep mixing the eggs and adding more and more of the flour until you kind of get a thick paste in the middle. At this point, I usually find it easiest to use a spatula or a dough scraper to start kind of incorporating the rest of the flour in with the liquid until it all sort of comes together into a really loose dough. Once you have this loose dough, go ahead and grab the dough and start molding it together with your hands into a ball. If your dough is really crumbly at that point and not coming together, you might need to add a little bit of water. But if it's too liquidy and it feels kind of slimy, you can add a little bit more flour. Getting the moisture content right can be a little tricky, so sometimes you have to keep adding a little flour, a little water, and keep going back and forth until you get it right. Basically, once you start kind of kneading the dough, it should all come together in a firm shape that doesn't stick to the table as you knead. You should knead the dough for 5 or 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth. Then wrap the dough tightly in plastic wrap and let it rest for at least half an hour. After it's done resting, cut about a third of the dough and roll it into a loose rectangular shape that's a few millimeters thick. You can use a rolling pin or a wine bottle or really anything you have. Make sure you use plenty of flour at this point so your dough doesn't stick to the table. Then you should loosely roll both sides of the rectangle up towards the middle and use a knife to slice the dough into strips. You should cut the dough basically however thick you want your pasta to be. Then when you're done, unroll each of the strips and you've got your fresh pasta. The pasta is ready to cook right away, so you should cook it in boiling salted water for about 3 to 5 minutes depending on how thick it is. If you're not ready to use it, you can leave it out to dry or freeze it for another day. Let me know if you have any questions.